For most of my life, people were terrified of my eyes. My name is Arthur Vance, and for decades, I was one of the most influential art critics in New York. I could make or break a career with a single paragraph. A misplaced brushstroke from across a gallery. I'd spot it, a sculpture lacking emotional depth. I'd know before the artist even finished their pitch. I lived for perfection, holding the world to an impossible standard of aesthetic beauty. In my mind, life was a gallery, and anything less than a masterpiece was simply a waste of space. Today, my world is different. The sharp, clean lines I once worshipped are now just smudges of light and shadow. Glaucoma has begun to blur the edges of my reality, slowly drawing a curtain over the world I once judged so harshly. It's a strange fate for a man who lived by his sight. Yet, in this forced visual silence, I've started to see things I was blind to for 70 years. Before, I saw the world with the precision of a scalpel, dissecting every detail, searching for flaws. Now, I see it with the softness of a watercolor wash, where colors bleed into one another, creating something new, something unexpectedly beautiful. The world I once knew, a world of crisp definitions and hard edges, is gone. In its place is a softer, more forgiving landscape. It's terrifying, yes, but it's also liberating. For the first time, I'm not just looking at the world, I'm feeling it. The sharp lines of a skyscraper are now a gentle reach towards the sky. The faces of strangers are no longer a collection of features to be analyzed, but soft glows of humanity passing by. The world hasn't changed, but my perception of it has, and that has changed everything. I spent my life criticizing the broken parts of art. I'd sneer at a composition that felt unbalanced, scoff at a color choice that seemed jarring, and without realizing it, that critical eye turned inward and outward on everything and everyone. I became a critic of the broken parts of people. I judged my friends for their flaws, my partners for their inconsistencies, and myself, most harshly of all, for the simple, human act of aging. I was so busy looking for the cracks in the canvas that I forgot to look at the painting as a whole. My life was a state of constant dissatisfaction. I was always waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect person, the perfect achievement, to finally grant me permission to be content. But perfection, I now realize, is a horizon you can never reach. It's a myth, a ghost that haunts the halls of our minds, telling us we're not good enough. I measured my days by what was missing, not by what was present. I celebrated the flawless and dismissed the authentic. I was a connoisseur of surfaces, completely ignorant of the depth that lies beneath. The irony is not lost on me. Now, as my physical sight fails, I finally see the masterpiece. It wasn't in the galleries or the auction houses. It was here, all along. I see the beauty in the way my wife's hand trembles when she brings me tea. For years, I saw it as a sign of weakness, of age, of imperfection. Now, I see it as a testament to 50 years of shared struggle, of hands held through triumphs and tragedies. Each tremor is a brushstroke in the portrait of our life together. I see the imperfections of my own life, the failed business ventures I was so ashamed of, the messy arguments I wish I could take back, the unkempt garden I never had time for. I no longer see them as flaws. They are the texture, they are the rich impasto that gives the painting of my life depth and character. They are the proof that I was here, that I tried, that I loved, that I failed, and that I got back up. They are what make the story real, what make it mine. A life without these supposed flaws would be a flat, sterile, and uninteresting work. I remember a young painter I once reviewed. Her work was raw, chaotic, full of emotion that practically screamed from the canvas. The technique was unrefined, the colors were clashing. I wrote a scathing review. I called it an undisciplined mess. I destroyed her confidence. She never exhibited again. I think about her now. I think about the passion I dismissed, the raw honesty the first labeled as a flaw. I was so afraid of messences, of things I couldn't categorize and control. I see now that her painting wasn't a mess. It was life itself. It was raw, untamed, and beautiful in its honesty. I was the one who was blind, trapped in my rigid framework of what art and life should be. I was the one who was afraid to feel, so I hid behind the intellect of critique. My pursuit of perfection wasn't a noble quest for beauty. It was a shield against the vulnerability of being human, of being imperfect. I demanded perfection from the world, because I was terrified of the imperfections within myself. So this is my message to you, from a man who is learning to see in the dark. Stop being a critic of your own life. Stop standing back with your arms crossed, judging your every move. Stop waiting for the lighting to be perfect, or the composition to be balanced, before you decide to be happy. Life isn't a gallery where finished works are displayed for judgment. It's a studio. It's a messy, chaotic, wonderful studio. You're supposed to get paint on your clothes. You're supposed to make a mess. You're supposed to try a color that doesn't work, to scrape it off, and to try again. You're supposed to have canvases stacked in the corner that you've abandoned, and others that you're still not sure about, and a few, just a few, that make your heart sing. That's where the magic is. Not in the pristine, untouched canvas, but in the process of creation itself. Embrace the so-called flaws. The stretch marks are the story of the life you grew. The scars are the maps of a survivor. The anxieties and fears are the shadows that give your light meaning. Don't smooth them out. Don't hide them. They are your texture. They are your depth. They are what make you, you. The most captivating art is rarely the most technically perfect. It's the art that has a soul, a story, a beating heart. It's the art that dares to be vulnerable. Your life is your greatest work of art. Are you treating it like a precious object to be kept under glass? Or are you living in it, breathing it, and letting it be the glorious, beautiful mess it's meant to be? Don't die with a clean palette and a perfect record. That's not a life well lived. It's a life untouched. Die with a messy, colorful, and imperfect heart that actually felt something. Die with a story etched into your skin and your soul. Die with the evidence of a life fully embraced. Open your eyes, not to judge, but to see. To truly see the imperfect, chaotic, and breathtakingly beautiful masterpiece that is your life. Start painting. Start living. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, please consider sharing it. You never know who might need to hear it.